I'm Nat, he's Matt, and we got your geek news right here.
And this week, it's a review of the remake of my absolute favorite Universal monster movie, The Wolfman.
Since this is essentially a remake, the obvious yardstick to measure this movie by is the 1941 original.
Now, today, the original Wolfman is so entrenched in pop culture that it actually established a lot of the werewolf lore that we take for granted as some kind of ancient gypsy folktales.
But calling this a straight-up remake would be unfair to the second and third act twist that Joe Johnston treated us to.
So let's break this puppy down into faithfulness and originality. Right off the bat, Wolfman impressed me with the right tone. We had the classic poem from the original, and the goosebumps had not finished running down my spine when we were thrust into a classic horror chase scene.
Although the bloody lettering was
cheesy,
but perfectly cheesy monster movie.
Lightning.
Now,
Amazing.
casting Benicio as Lawrence Talbot was spot on. Not only did he and Hopkins have the same lack of resemblance as the original Talbots, but he felt a bit tortured, as he always does, even before he came home to Talbot Hall.
Now, Emily Blunt never impresses me as a beauty, but she was a great casting choice for Gwen.
I think she's gorgeous.
She always seemed like she was on the verge of some kind of emotional breakdown. Between the death of Ben and becoming close to Lawrence, she was kind of just always ready to cry.
Yeah, she has that crying face, eh? Now, the twin tortures of falling in love and becoming a monster feel just as symmetrical as I remember, and were paced beautifully as they both took over his life.
Now, the gypsy attack in the remake took a great concept and just blew the doors off it. It could have been easily the most beautiful and gruesome werewolf rampage in the whole film.
Absolutely. All that was missing was Bela Lugosi.
Now, without being as drab and bleak as the Book of Eli was, Wolfman managed to keep that sort of black and white punch.
Yeah.
And the stark contrast, I've got to say, was so faithful to the film. It's just like the first time we see that tattered white shirt and the black vest on the wolf.
Again, cheesy but perfect.
Man, it felt like Lon Chaney on steroids. Rick Baker's makeup, it was so fantastic. It was so faithful to Jack Pierce. It blew my mind.
Yeah, well, having said that, the transitions were a bit rough in certain spots, especially in the full light of the medical theater. Except his hand, which was terrifying because it gave me the heebie-jeebies the one I went...
Yeah. Now, I've got to say, it was a bit of a disappointment to me that the visual effects that we saw in the trailers were the finals, and that they hadn't been improved by the time they hit the film release. Because I just thought they weren't quite there in the previews, and I was hoping they were going to get better.
Well, you know what? Speaking of previews and trailers, there was a masquerade wolf rampage scene that was not just in the trailers, but it was even referenced in the newspaper the next day. That, I really hope, had better be a deleted scene we get on the DVD.
Absolutely. Now, silver bullets, the wolf cane, Gwen's shop, even the moor itself, the tone, the visuals, it was all so elegantly homage from the original. And let's take a look now at the places where the Wolfmen diverged from the Wolfman.
Yeah.
It's nearly the full moon. You were bitten by the beast. You bear his mark now.
Mr. Talbot, there are many of us here who are looking for a natural explanation. Help us.
Come on, Talbot. Show us your wounds.
We're told it heals in an unnatural way. Will you let him murder your wives and children?
Damn you, Talbot!
Sorry, Colonel. I meant to shoot you. Sadly, I'm not the marksman I used to be. I must be getting old.
If the original managed to give us the last 70 years of lycanthropy lore, the remake certainly had a lot to build on, and they did it brilliantly.
Instead of an Eastern European bringing lycanthropy to Blackmore in a gypsy caravan, it comes all the way from the mountains of India, along with some very cool flavor by giving Sir John a Sikh manservant. Same. I thought that was great.
Oh, and establishing Lawrence not only as an actor, but as having spent time in an asylum early on.
Creepy.
That cast a very cool natural blame on him as a suspect.
You know what? I really loved Hugo Weaving's implications when he's like, well, you're an actor. I see you playing convincingly
All with
many
that same
roles.
face.
Exactly.
Mr. Talbot.
Very good. You know what? I actually really appreciated that they touched on the idea of lycanthropy as a real psychological disorder because it really is. So that was very cool. But if the first werewolf that afflicts Lawrence isn't Bella, then who is it?
Okay, hold on. We get 3 great Wolfman rampages in this remake, and the final one is, and here come the spoilers, a goddamn werewolf fight.
Oh my god.
Yes! You usually have to wait for the sequel for that kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh, talk about satisfying an audience on every level. Not only have we had a faithful Wolfman experience by the 80-minute mark, but holy crap. Then we get everything we could ever want. Werewolf on werewolf action. Love it. The way he tears off his shirt. They're like, rah, rah.
I couldn't believe it. Now,
Unbelievable.
we're about to drop the biggest spoiler and the biggest divergence from the original, but if you've read into the trailers the way we have, it's no great surprise.
Nuh-uh. The wolfman that bites Lawrence is, in fact, his father, who contracted lycanthropy a quarter-century ago while on safari in India, and then after killing the mother of his children during his first rampage, has been locking himself away every full moon until this most recent spell of killings, brought on by his jealousy over Ben's relationship with Gwen.
Stroke of genius. I love this idea. The way that Sir John frames his son for the bloody murders on the moor
then
manages to get him admitted back into the same asylum that brainwashed his memory of his father's...
Terrifying.
Oh my god. Amazing. So vicious.
So
that man
animal.
is really quite dead.
He
Amazing.
really is. It's hard to do a remake that changes the ending of the original and not piss off the diehards, but I'm gonna say if Matt's sold,
I am sold.
this one's a winner.
Absolutely. It is so rare that a horror film has a dark, sophisticated tone like this one. It's a horror film for adults, and yet it still has this kick-ass, fun climax.
Like the Predator versus Alien moment.
But after that, it then has an ending that feels true for all the characters. There's no other way that could have gone down. It was so good.
It was very good, very cathartic. Now, keep your eye on yourgeeknews.com for a look at Alice in Wonderland and Clash of the Titans, both of which I am so excited about. Ah!
Lawrence Talbot, you know what happened to him. You understand it. Listen to me. I need you to help me.
Leave him to his fate.
I have to save him.
Do you love him?
Just tell me what to do.
Will you condemn him? Or will you set him free? Do you know what that means?
Yes. But I can't. I can't do that. He's still there. I know he is. I know I can save him. I'm begging you, tell me what to do.